Tuesday, barely morning. Still, the morning is almost over. It's about 11:40. I have been in the studio for a few hours, as you will have already seen. This morning I have mostly just been painting. I've been working on some editorial commissions, some small spot illustrations. It's slow going. They're all really detailed, and I have 5 to do. I'm waiting on feedback still for the packaging, one of the packaging projects that I was working on last week. And once I get that, I'll kind of have to jump on that, and I think the deadline for that is this Friday too, so I have a couple of Friday deadlines. The other thing I really need to do this week, 2 things related to Patreon. I have to record a critique of a patron's piece. I did it last month, but this month is the first time that, like, I think there were 7 or 8 people that submitted work to be critiqued, and then patrons voted on which one they wanted to see me do, and a bunch of people voted. So I'm really happy that it's kind of coming together. I was hoping it would be kind of a community learning thing. So it is heading in a good direction. I just have to do the video for that. And then the other Patreon thing, I have got to send out my quarterly surprise packs. So my patrons are being so patient. Thank you so much for being so understanding with, like, my move and all of these other deadlines that I had to prioritize. But I do want to put those together this week. And yeah, so packaging illustration, editorial illustration, Patreon stuff. And that should get us through most of the week. Over the weekend, on Saturday, I really just had to take, I've been working so much and then have been, like, setting up the house and trying to do all of that stuff in between. And it has just been, as you know, if you've been watching vlogs and if you've seen my recent posts on social media, it's been a really stressful time. And I didn't feel like taking any time off. I felt like I couldn't, but on Saturday, I had the babysitter come for a few hours, and I just kind of went out and did my own thing, which was so nice. And it was only like a 4-hour chunk of time, but it was amazing. I felt so much better afterwards. And one of the really fun things that ended up happening is that, so we're in this new city, and I decided to go downtown and explore. And I found this really cool, it's like a gallery slash studio space slash art collective that's all women owned and run. And I don't think they were, like, necessarily making a big point out of that, but it did happen to all be women there. And I chatted with a few of them, and I actually connected with one of the artists there, and she recognized me, I think from YouTube, but she had been a subscriber, so she knew who I was, which was crazy. That's actually the first time that's happened to me. And I got to have a tour of her studio, and I bought a few prints, and she just does these beautiful, I hope it's gonna come across. They're mixed media. She has her name is Steph Holmes. I'm gonna put her info in the description box. Oh, these are overexposed, so I'll just show these really quick here and then get some other footage here. She does these beautiful pieces of birds. And she does a lot of different things, but she happens to paint a lot of birds, and she's really big into she uses, like, donated art supplies, or art supplies that other people are done with and don't want to use anymore. And so she's really into sustainability, and yeah, so she just kind of, like, her palette is dictated by whatever she has available at the time. And then also some collage elements. So I just really liked her work. All of the originals of these had sold, but I was able to pick up a few prints. I thought I might put them together. We'll see. We're still kind of working on getting it set up, but I think that they might be really cute in a girl's room. Yeah, so they're still all in their plastic sleeves, but these are 6 by 6 inches. I thought these were so beautiful. I really love this one. It's so dramatic. Yeah, so it was super nice to meet you, Steph, and thank you for the studio tour. I think that's all I wanted to touch base on this morning. I'll be back in the studio this afternoon, shortly I'm gonna leave, go have lunch with Penny, put her down for her nap. Yes, gonna be back in this afternoon. I will either be working on spots or packaging depending on what feedback I get when. And yeah, that is the plan for the day and for the week. Good morning, guys. It is Wednesday, a little bit after 9:30. I have been in the studio doing some painting, and I just got off a client call, talking through some feedback. And I usually do most of my feedback on email, but sometimes, like in this situation, the client was asking for some things that I wasn't totally sure what they meant. So yeah, I just had a phone call with them, and I was a little bit stressed about it because well, number one, I feel like I always get stressed if I don't totally know what the client means, because I really want to deliver a good result, a good, according to like what they're looking for, result. And I'm just like, a thing I'm learning in this time of busyness is that if I feel like I don't understand the feedback fully, or if I'm worried that I'm gonna have to like push back a little bit on it, because they also were looking for an additional round of changes on one of the subjects. If I'm in that situation, then that's what stresses me out, because I get feedback all the time. And as long as it's like, if I feel like I understand it and it's within bounds, like it doesn't bother me at all. But every once in a while I'll be in a situation like this where it's like, oh gosh, like how did I miscommunicate something? Did they miscommunicate something? Like how did we get in this situation? And I got that feedback last night, and I was so tempted to just like write back an email right away. But I was like, no, you know what? This needs to be a phone call. And yeah, and so with larger projects, I feel like sometimes it's just really helpful to get on the phone, even though email and text is my preferred method, like pretty much everybody in my generation. Yeah, and I tend to really dread the phone. There are sometimes when it is just honestly so much better than what you can do on email. Like being able to hear someone's tone of voice and hear how they describe something just really helps. So wanted to share that learning. At some point soon, I want to do a video kind of showing you guys how I am incorporating digital editing and what I'm doing digitally on my iPad, because I'm still doing in most cases like 98%, 99% of a piece traditional media, like all traditional media, but there are some elements that I have been working in, especially if I'm under a deadline or if it's specifically for editorial and like I don't have to have a perfect finished painting. I'm doing more things digitally, like some of these editorial commissions I'm working on right now. It's a series of 5, and 4 of the 5 all have kind of complicated text in them. I can't remember if I talked about this already, but anyway, I'm doing all the text digitally. So I don't know if that's something you guys would be interested in seeing and kind of hearing some of my thought process on that and why I do it. But I would like to make a video about that at some point if it's something that you're interested in. What else? So today is Wednesday, so I don't have childcare this afternoon. I'm just working this morning and then during Penny's nap, and then we'll go to the gym around 4 when she's up. So that'll be the day. I'm gonna try, I think, to finish all of the traditional work on these spot illustrations so that I can potentially do some of the digital stuff tonight while I'm sitting on the couch. And then I think for the edits that I just went over with the client, I think all of those can be done digitally as well. I need to double check and look. So yeah, I think I am gonna do some more painting. It is Thursday, about 10:40. I have been in the studio all morning packing up Patreon surprise packs. Since they changed the reward tiers, the number that I'm sending out is smaller, but it's actually more than I thought. So there's still 8 packs going out. So to those of you who have been waiting, thank you so much for waiting. I know these should have gone out at the beginning of the month, but they're going out at the end of the month because of the move. So I just wanted to do a little sneak peek of one of the things that's in the package, or I guess it's 4 things technically, but I don't know if you remember a while ago I designed these patterned postcards. So they're really nice, kind of a matte finish, heavyweight from Moo. So there's going to be a selection of 4 of them in each pack. And these will be available for purchase later this year in my shop when I finally do get my shop back up and running again. But for now, this is the only way to get them. And then a couple of my new business cards. Thank you note, of course, on my standard blotter paper. I usually have thank you notes written on the back of blotter paper. And then I can't show the other thing. The other thing is top secret. So if you're a patron receiving a surprise pack, that's a thing to note here. I put it in the inventory sheet, but please don't show the other thing that's the other surprise that's in your surprise pack, because it actually is a surprise. So it has been a Patreon morning. I've been getting the surprise packs ready to go. Hopefully we'll be finishing this up shortly, and then I can record the critique, the monthly Patreon critique, which should hopefully go up for patrons tomorrow, which is the 22nd. So that'll be out long after this vlog, long before this vlog is published. And while we are on the Patreon note, I wanted to do a quick shout out for the new patrons, the repledging patrons, and to the people who changed their levels, who upped a level. I don't think I did this in February, so we're gonna go through all the names for February and March. So there are quite a few, so I'm just gonna do it. I'm just going to go through the list here from the beginning of February all the way through March. So big thank you to Sarah, Ashley, Stephanie, Becca, Jillian, another Stephanie, Coco Sita, Lisa, Julian, Cindy, Jennifer, another Stephanie, Molly, Vicky, Shayna, Becky, Kathleen, Paloma, Krizia, I hope I'm saying that right, Jody, Renee, Christy, Ella, and Heather. So thank you to everybody who is a new pledge or an adjusted pledge, whatever. If you are pledging, if you're supporting, and for that matter, if you have been pledging for longer and I didn't name you in this shout out, thank you to you as well. I try to thank you guys in every video since you are the ones who make it possible. So I super appreciate your support and for helping to create such a beautiful little community here. So thank you. And I also wanted to do a featured patron, and I did this once before. I think I did this in my fall newsletter, but I also want to mention this person in a video. This featured patron, I think, is my longest standing patron, somebody who has just supported my work for a super long time. And in all honesty, I may have featured her before, but I want to again because she makes amazing work herself. Her name is Guna, and she's a sculptor. So I'm going to have her links to her stuff in the description box. And Guna, you're also going to be in my spring newsletter, which, if you guys, you can probably guess it's going to go out a little bit late. So it's going to be probably late April that goes out, but you will be in there as well. So thank you to everybody who got shout outs today, to all the patrons supporting, and especially to Guna, the featured patron. So that is it for the Patreon shout outs. I wanted to also respond to a user comment, a viewer comment this week. But there wasn't anyone that was like particularly jumping out. I guess I just wanted to respond and thank everybody who gave feedback on the vlog length. As you know, we have been experimenting with doing more like 20-minute vlogs. We, is me and Meg who does all the editing, have been experimenting with shortening the vlog length a little bit because I tend to be very chatty and I'm working on that habit so that it's not such a pain for Meg to edit. But anyway, we're experimenting with 20-minute vlogs just to see if that helps with views and stuff. So I really appreciate everybody who gave feedback on that, both those of you who said that you prefer the longer ones and those of you who encouraged me to try the format of the shorter. So yeah, thank you to everybody for giving feedback on that. And yes. So right now I have to do a little bit of scanning and some digital editing before I wrap up, and then I'll be back in the studio this afternoon, probably mostly doing digital stuff between today and tomorrow when I have all of my deadlines. So that is what's happening, and I am gonna get started. Hey guys, it is much later on Thursday afternoon. I am back in the studio. What time is it exactly? It's like 4:35, so I have 25 minutes of babysitter time left. I am just in process doing a little bit of digital editing for a client piece, so I'm not showing too much of it, hopefully. They have asked for one particular section of it to be knocked down in saturation. I'm just zooming in here more and more, so I hopefully won't be showing too much, but we're going for it. Anyway, they want a particular section to be knocked down in saturation, so it's going to be quicker to do that digitally, and I can get a more reliable result. Like I know for sure it will be less saturated, as opposed to trying to go back to the traditional drawing board. So that is what I'm going to do here. So I'm just selecting it in Procreate. I could have done this also in Pixelmator, but I already had it here in Procreate, so I'm just going to do it this way. And I'm doing the by hand selection so that it will be really exact, and then I will just tweak the saturation levels. But yeah, anyway, I did some more digital editing on some other pieces from this assignment this afternoon while Penelope was asleep. And then since I've been back in the studio, I have been working on some emails and some admin, and then filming the Patreon critique video. Okay, so yeah, I think that will probably be it for today. I'm gonna work for a few more minutes on some more digital editing here, work until 5 or so, then go down and relieve the babysitter, and then we'll probably do some more work tonight on the sofa. I did get some feedback from packaging client number 1. I'm gonna have to redo some stuff, but I'm not gonna be able to get it done today, so that'll probably be early next week. And then I have all of those editorial assignments, illustrations that are due for an assignment that has a deadline next week, early next week. I can't remember if it's Monday or Tuesday, but I'll probably be working on those this weekend. And then tonight I really have to finish up everything for packaging assignment number 2. So it would be so much easier if I could just show you guys all the stuff for it. I would love that, and I will show you when it does come out. But a lot of the time, you know, for a magazine, it's usually like a couple months after I'm working on it. Sometimes a month after if it's really short, if it's a really quick turnaround. But with packaging stuff, sometimes it's like a year or even 2 years. Yeah, I have stuff that I did like a couple of years ago that I still haven't been able to show you. So yeah, I get that, and I wish it was possible. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. All right, I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Hey guys, it's Friday morning, just a little bit after 11. I have been in the studio for a few hours already. I just wanted to do a quick wrap up with you all since I didn't really end the vlog yesterday. Yeah, I've just been doing some digital editing for one of the packaging assignments. And I think those illustrations are hopefully done. That job, the final due date for everything, to like send them the client the final files is the 26th. So I'm hoping this is kind of like officially, as far as I'm concerned, the finals are done. I just need them to approve or ask for any very small edits. Yeah, I did all of that, then got the vlog cover for the vlog that you guys will have seen last week. Got that all up and ready to go. Did a few things on Patreon and Skillshare. Yeah, just kind of an odds and ends morning, getting things wrapped up. And I probably am going to not do any work this afternoon because today is day 1 of potty training. So Eric has had the first shift and then I'm on the second shift. We kind of purposely set aside time this weekend to be able to do it. So hopefully that will go well. You guys are probably so used to hearing me complain about things being really busy and terrible schedules and all of that. And I'm happy to say that there is a light at the end of the tunnel finally. And hopefully after this coming Tuesday, which is March 26th, hopefully things will calm down a little bit and I'll have a chance to maybe work on some personal pieces and develop my next Skillshare class, do all of those things that I have been procrastinating. Not procrastinating, because I'm not doing nothing, but the things that I haven't been able to, that I haven't had the bandwidth to do in the last several weeks. So just in the home stretch here with all of these back-to-back client projects, and then hopefully we will have the chance to move on to some other things, to incorporate some other things, and to not feel so stressed. So, yes, I'm going to wrap this up here. This is the first time I've done a wrap up without my face in the frame. So, hopefully you don't mind it. I'm going to say all the usual thank yous. Thank you to Meg for the wonderful editing. Thank you to my patrons for supporting this channel financially and in all of the ways that you do. Thank you to everybody who has shared stuff on social media this last week. That's a really great way to help support my channel as well if you want to, and if you find it valuable and you want to help support it but you can't do so on Patreon, or if you want another way to do so in addition to Patreon, sharing on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, sharing videos that you like is super helpful. So thanks to everybody who's doing that. And then of course, thank you especially to everybody who is watching this video, to everybody who leaves comments, to the followers, the likers, the sharers, all of that. I appreciate you and I'm so grateful for you, and I hope you guys all have a great week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. Bye. That's very weird. All right. Later.